Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm Misty at Skeeter Jones and this is a craft with me. This is a purse charm that I offered up in a video recently. It was item number 1 in that video for $12. My purse charms are going pretty well on eBay for $12. And this one took a good amount of work, and it was a few different pieces that I used to upcycle this purse charm. So this one is $12. I'm charging the same price that I charge on eBay for these, just because of the amount of work that went into making this one. So this one will be item number 1 in this video if you're interested in this purse charm. It's made from all J.Crew elements, and then the hook is one. The lobster clasp here is not J.Crew. It did not come from any J.Crew elements, but everything else on here did. So here we go. This, I had asked everybody to let me know in the comments what their ideas were for this. It was a necklace, and I had removed the chain part of it here to use on to make a different necklace at some other time. So I'm just going to save that. It's this really pretty chain. Has these gorgeous little caps on the ends and this really serpentine type chain. I really like that. These little hammered ends, and then the lobster clasp, and all of this is in really great shape. So I'm going to save that to make another necklace with. Let me come in a little closer with the camera. And then this was what was on the bottom of that necklace. It hung, with I should have left the chain out. The necklace looked like this, and I can't remember where I got it. It was in a craft lot, I think. But the whole necklace looked like this. And this bead right here is acrylic, and the paint's coming off of it. It looks terrible. So I'm going to remove this bead and then rearrange other elements on here. And the consensus among people that emailed me and commented was that they would like to see this as a purse charm. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to just hang the things on, the hook like that. I'm going to get rid of this bead right here and then rearrange the other elements. So I'll save that for the end, since it'll be a little more involved to do this one, and I want to make sure that I get a lot of purse charms made. So if I don't have time for this one at the end of the video, I'll do a short all by itself about this one. But meanwhile, here we go. I have this little system that I didn't use for some of these things, it looks like, where I put things together with the elements I'm going to need to, and then I just put it in a container like this, so when I get it out later, I have the things pre-sorted with, maybe all, or at least some of the things I'll need to turn them into whatever they're going to be. In this case, purse charms. So this is, let's see, this is a necklace that was in that Pat Garza lot, and it's going to be a, oh yeah, this is going to be a purse charm, but I can't remember the design that I had in mind for that. Maybe that's why it's just in, just loose, rolling around in the bottom of this container. So there's a lot of not now, maybe later happening. So hopefully this video is actually going to have enough in it to be interesting. Okay, this was in that same lot from Pat. This little disco ball, graduated sizes, multicolor rainbow disco balls. And it was a single earring. And I happen to have these glass beads that are also in graduated sizes that'll go well. I think I'm going to put them in between these little disco balls and hang that from a hook. And I have all my little hooks and things like that organized right here. So let me get out a hook, and that will go very nicely together. I'm going to put, I don't know, I thought about hanging the beads separately, And then I thought about putting them in between the disco balls like that. So, or I think more like that. I think I'll do it that way. And to do that, I'm going to need some pins. Let's see, some eye pins. I'll be right back with those. So here's the difference between head pins and eye pins. I'm going to need to have a loop at the top and bottom of each one of these little beads. So it's a lot easier if I use eye pins, because that way I don't have to make 2 loops because one is already made. So I'm going to put these head pins aside. I don't think I'll need those, but I'm not going to put them away because I may need them later. So I'll just string a glass bead onto a head pin and then just bend it over and get ready to make the next eye at the top. And I'll do that for all 3 of these. And there we go. Okay, and now I'll need my, actually first I'll need to cut those down a little bit. And I really just kind of eyeball that. There we go. And off and running. I save these because I can make my own little jump rings out of those. If you can hear that sound in the background, that is dinner boiling on the stove, or at least part of dinner. I'm making some mashed potatoes. So I have a big pot of potatoes boiling. I can hear them because they're right around the corner from where I'm standing, like literally right behind me. So if you saw my thrift haul video a few days ago, then where I was sitting actually, and I pointed to the countertop where I stand to do camera down videos, which is where I'm standing right now. The stove is actually right behind me in that video, but you can't see it. Okay, first one, and then next. It helps to bend the wire over like this first before making a loop, because it just makes the loop stand at a much better angle and make it not like bent over the top of the bead. And there we are. Now these two are not facing the same direction, and I just like them to face the same way. So I'll hold it with one plier and grab it with another one on the other end, and then just turn so they're facing the same direction. It's actually not as important with this project that they face the same direction. With some projects it's very important, so the parts of the project will all lay in the correct direction. But since these are the same on all sides, it doesn't really matter which direction they face. It's just me being particular that I like to have all the loops facing the same way. It just makes the finished product look nicer, I think. Okay, I'm trying to find the end of this ring. I think I found it there, so I can open this ring up and take the earring post off. There it is. And there we are. And I can just put this aside for now. And then I have to take all of these apart to put these in between. This one I want to put just right at the top anyway, so I don't need, I don't need to take it apart to put the first one on. Let's see, which one am I going to open up? I'll open up this one. So I'll open the loop. I can find the right side of it. There we go. So the loop is open, and I'll just hook it right on. It sounds easier than it is. I don't have it open wide enough, I don't think. How about now? There we go. And then close it right back. Probably not the most graceful way of handling this one. It's not closed all the way. We don't want it falling off later, so I do need to make sure that I get that all the way closed. All right, and now it is. So off to a good start with that one. Now I need to open it up here and here so I can put the other two beads in between. So I'll open up this loop. And let's see which one went in the middle. The red one goes in the middle. There we go, and then close the loop back. Coming right along. And then we'll open this one up and attach the red one to it. There we go. And now for the last one. Oh. If I can keep it from spinning around, that'll help. It's hard to hit a moving target, right? Okay, there we go. And now all that's left to do is attach this to this and put the hook on the top, the clasp, the lobster clasp. There we go. And there is a very colorful purse charm. Let's give you a length on it, because this is going to be item 2. Remembering that number 1 is just number 1 from a previous video. Actually, let me give you a measurement on that one while I have it in hand. This one, I really like this one a lot. I like the asymmetrical way it hangs with a little sort of weights and balances sort of look to it. And it's kind of glammy. This one is 5 inches from here to here, from the bottom to the bottom of this little teardrop. And again, this one is item number 1 for $12. And let's see, we're going to hang this directly to the ring so that somebody can maybe put keys or something on this little key ring part. So I'm going to now open up this ring. I may need my flat pliers. We'll see how this works. Sometimes I'll realize that I have my pliers, one pair of pliers clamped down on the other pliers. There we go. And it looks like the opening right here, this opening is exactly large enough to accommodate the width of that ring. And then we'll close it up. I say we're going to close it up. It's not cooperating, and that's because I don't have the right pliers to make it cooperate quickly. I'm going to step away and go get my flat pliers. Okay, here they are. Let's just give that a little squeeze. There we go. So it's the charm, it's party time, colorful charm, and then a key ring right here, although you may want to be careful. I don't know if having a key knock up against these little mirrored things might make those fall off. But maybe a tassel, a long tassel would be pretty right there, hanging next to it. But there it is. This one I am going to do. I normally sell these for $12, and they're selling nicely. I'm really happy about that. They're selling for $12 on eBay. That one's going to have to stay $12 because it was pretty. That was pretty involved to make that one. But let's see. We'll do this one for. I'm going to do this one for 10. And it's going to be number 2 for $10. There we go. And next, let's see, let's do this little lemon. I already got some of these crystals. I got these crystals in the lot from Carol at RV Butterfly a while back. And then this earring came in the lot from Pat Garza. And then these yellow and green glass beads came in the Fire Mountain Gems lot. So I'm going to remove the post from this earring, and I'm going to hang all of this on, eventually hang it on a hook to be a purse charm. So I'm going to remove the post first. There, it took just a minute to get that post out. So I'm going to put that, oops, I'm going to put that aside. And here's the little lemon. And I'll need to file that down. I'll be right back. I filed it down. It goes deeper down into the leaf, and I didn't want to damage it. So part of the post is still there. So what I'll do is put a little bit of enamel or something over it. But I did smooth it down with the file, but I just didn't want to file it anymore and damage the back. There is a little bit of surface scratching you can see right there, and I didn't want to make that any deeper. So I'll cover that with some enamel so it'll be nice and smooth and it won't scratch someone's purse. But that is step 1 of our little lemon purse charm. The next thing I'm going to do is make some sort of little copy of it with the glass beads, like that, so they can kind of be buddies right here on the charm. So let's see how I'm going to do that first. I don't know that I really gave it enough thought. Let's see. What if I can try 2 eye pins? Actually, no, I would only need 1 eye pin to do that. And then maybe I could hang. Oh, I know what I was going to do with those. Those are going to hang separately on the same charm. So here's what we're going to do. I need a head pin for this. There we go. And again, fold it down to make that angle. And then snip it off. These steps, folding down the pin, snipping it off, and then making a loop, is a step that is that's most of what I do, or a lot of what I do when I'm making purse charms, because you do that to put beads together, and that's what I'm doing when I'm purse charming. So that is our first step right here. And then I'm going to use head pins on these little green ones, so they'll hang like that, sort of similar to, actually, do I want to put them together and have them hang separately? Let's see, that's a thought. Meanwhile, I'm going to have these hanging on, I think it was separate pieces of chain, and that's why I had this there, because I think I was going to use some chain off of this for that. So let me step away and look at this plan for a minute. All right, I've remembered my plan. So I'm going to make the little sort of reminiscent of a lemon right here by, I'm going to put eye pins in both of these little green beads, and then I'll hang the ring at the top just from one of them and let the other one just kind of fall. And then it'll hang from this chain, because this chain, this is going to become a separate purse charm, this little pendant here. And some of this chain is not good, and I really don't know what these little ends are for. So it doesn't look like it would have been a necklace, because it has this on the 2 ends of the chain, and I can't really figure out what that's for. So I'm going to take part of the chain that's good off of this and use it to hang these little crystals and this little sort of fashioned lemon, and then the big lemon. So I'm going to put all of that together, hopefully pretty quickly. So I'm going to need a head pin for the one that's going to just hang down, for the leaf that's going to just hang down. So I'll go ahead and do that now. The familiar old bend it down, snip the wire, again save these because I can make jump rings out of those. Then make my little loop at the top. I'm not going to close it all the way though, because I'm going to be hanging this on something shortly, so I don't want to have to open it right back up. So right here, I'm going to bend this one for the other leaf. And snip. and loop. And I'm going to be looping this one onto the little yellow glass bead. And there we go. I love to watch it come together. So there we go. And then now I'm going to attach this one as well to the yellow bead. And if my description didn't make sense, hopefully it'll start kind of making sense when you see it. I'm going to make sure that they're closed up nice and tight. I don't want them falling off. Okay, so this one is the head pin, so it's just closed at the end like that. This one had a loop on both ends. It looks like I need to close that loop a little bit more. There we go. So this one had a loop on both ends, so I could hang onto the we'll say lemon right here, and then this can hang on a chain, but then this little leaf is hanging on the lemon, but will, hang down. So it'll have this sort of effect when it's hanging. So there we go. There's that part of it. And then these leaves are going to hang down on this lemon, just because I don't have a way to attach a chain right there. So I'm going to attach it to this little ring right here. And that'll be the effect with this one. Both of the leaves will kind of hang over to the side. And then we're going to do this, let's see, with these. We'll hang them in this sort of cascading design like that. Maybe with the big lemon somewhere in the middle there, and then the little one at the top, and then the crystals somewhere in the center like that. Things look a little different now because it's actually the next day. There were some things I had to take care of yesterday kind of suddenly, so that's what happened, and that's why I'm starting back up the next day. And you can see here that I have already cut some chain off of this necklace, and here is the remaining chain. I just sort of measured out, I laid out what I think I might want the finished product to look like, and then trimmed chain to the length that I would need to kind of make that happen. And then just to give you a little bit of visual, I thought I had already gotten out a ring. Oh, I did. Here it is. And then the clip will go on right here, leaving this ring available to put keys on. I'm going to hang the charm from this ring right here. So the clip, I'll just let it wait over here. These things are the things that were on each end of the chain, which makes me wonder if this was a necklace. I really don't know what it was because there wasn't a clasp. There was just one of these on each end of the chain. So I decided to save these, and I'm actually going to turn those into something else. I'm thinking about maybe earrings. We'll see what happens with those. But right now it is purse charm time. So I'm going to kind of separate each of these little elements to the different places. Or I'm going to separate them from each other to kind of make them easier to get to. And there we go. The only one that won't have any chain on it is this one, because I like it just hanging from a ring directly from this ring that will then attach there to that ring. So first things first, actually, I think I want this sort of teardrop shaped bead to hang a little lower. So I'm going to take a couple of tiny rings. I'll do 3. And let's see, there they are. And make a little chain for that, that little teardrop to hang a little lower than the round faceted. So I open up that one, and then I'll hang a ring on it and the charm on it. Close that up. And make sure that the one I hung on there is closed up. See, it is, it just needs to be straightened a little bit. You can see that those two sides don't exactly match up. So let me match those up. There we go. And then I'll take this third one. And the same thing, I'm going to open it up and then hang 2 things on it. Those being the little teardrop, like that, and this ring. And then I'll close that. Perfect. And then I'm going to take this ring. By hanging 2 things at a time, the things that I know will be hanging on each side of a ring, then that way it cuts down the total number of times I have to open and close something. So I hang this on, and then I can go ahead and attach it to the key ring and to the little round bead. I'm watching my hand and not the screen, so I think if I pop off of the screen from time to time, it's because I'm looking directly at my hands instead of through the camera. Okay, so we've got the first part of it done, just like that. And then now the next part is hanging this. I think I like that little 3 loops that I did on this one, so I'm going to do the same thing for this teardrop and this teardrop, which means I will need 6 more of these tiny rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll just get started on those now, on the next one that is. This little lemon is going to be cute, I think. I really like that I was able to find that little flat, round glass bead and these 2 little green ones to sort of mimic the look of the lemon, sort of mirror that. So again, I put on the teardrop and put on the next little ring, and it also doesn't match up exactly, the 2 ends on that one. So I'm going to grab it really quick, the one I just hung on there, and just match those 2 ends up. There we go. This is going rather quickly, or looks like it is. It took me some time to get that chain that I'm using off of the other necklace. Okay, so I have those 3. I'm going to go ahead and hang the little round one on this top ring. Actually, no, it didn't go on that one, did it? It went on this one. So I'll hang the large ring on there. And then I'll open the large ring and hang the small bead on it and the chain. I got lots of pinched fingers. I've had a few little cuts here and there, so it doesn't always go as gracefully as it looks right now. Hopefully this session will be accident-free. There we go. There's our next little chain with the stones on it, and I'm going to hang those directly onto this ring. Well, wait a minute, there was a ring at the top of this one. So I think I'm going to need another one of those. Is this the right size? Yes. So I'll need one for the top of each one of these. There we go. Or I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it would be better to hang them all from right here. I think actually that's the best. I'm going to do it that way. Just so that the finished product will hang down in a more attractive way, I think. So we're going to open up this ring and hang this chain on it. I'm going to be opening and closing this one a good bit. I would just leave it open, but I don't want the things to fall off each time. Okay, and then now I'll do this little lemon. This one should go a little more quickly because I'm not threading on the little crystals. I'm only putting on the little acrylic lemon. There we go. This little lemon earring. I'm saying little a whole bunch, but this lemon earring, which actually isn't little at all for an earring, is just so cute. And I was a little bummed that it didn't have a match, but I think it'll make a really sweet little, and there's little again. I think it'll make a really sweet keyring or purse charm. Okay, where's the chain that goes with? Or, oh, the chain's already on there. I lost track of what I was doing. Okay, so now this lemon is ready. I think I might need to do something to make those leaves hang in a more attractive way. I need another ring on there. So I'm going to open up the ring that came with these earrings, or this earring, the ring that actually attaches the leaves to the lemon. I'm going to open that. And put an extra ring in there. So I'll need a larger ring than that. There, hang that on. And that will give a little more room for those leaves to, oops, where'd it go? There it is. That'll give a little bit more room for those rings to hang, those leaves actually, to hang in a more attractive way. And I'll give that a little extra squeeze. with the flat nose pliers. There we go. And then now, well, I wasn't paying attention, and now the ring I just added is actually hanging on the back of the lemon. So I'm going to have to open that again. You really have to pay attention to where you put things and what direction something is facing and all of that, or you'll end up with a finished product that doesn't look anything at all like what you had in mind. So let's take this lemon off and the little ring. Okay, and then put the lemon back on and the ring in the right order. I want those leaves to kind of hang down the front of the top of the lemon, so that's why I need that ring to be on the front. There. So now the leaves are going to go on, but I will need another ring because now the leaves are set up to hang this way because of the way the hole is drilled. So I will need one more ring. I'm going to try one of these really tiny ones and see if that will do the job. A lot of this is just figuring out how you need to put something on, what direction you're doing it, and all of that. Once I had put a necklace together, but everything, every element was in all different directions, so when I got done, it wasn't even anything that could be called a necklace. Okay, there we go. So that's how I'm wanting the leaves to hang on the little lemon. And there's that word little again. That's the word of the day. Okay, now I will hang the, let's see, how did I put these on? Okay, I hung the chain straight onto the ring. So I open the ring and add the lemon. The reason these are laid out the way they are, or not to say the reason, but there is a reason these are laid out in the order that they are, and that's so that these elements, these little chains I'm making with the crystals and the lemon and all that and the little glass beads will be in the order I want them to be in when the charm is all done. Okay, so now here's what we have so far. And now it is time for the next lemon. Right here. So here's the effect we're going for. That lemon will hang about that level with everything. And I already remember I had already put together my little bead arrangement reminiscent of a lemon. So we'll open up the next ring and just attach this and the chain. And that's it. Yes. And now that that's ready, I'll go here and put the next element on. Let's see, it's this way because I want it to go right after this lemon. So the ring should be turned this direction. Then I open it up and I'll put on my little glass bead arrangement. There's that word of the day again. Okay, maybe I should attach some kind of little I just did it again. Maybe I should attach some kind of contest to it, like whoever can tell me how many times I say the word little in this video, do a drawing. Or maybe just do a drawing for all the people who comment with the word little. I think I'll do that. I don't know what the prize will be yet, but just comment with the word little somewhere in your comment, and I'll draw for something. Before the video ends, I'll let you know what that'll be. I love being gifty. I love doing drawings and giving things away. Which reminds me, I never did tell the whole story before about the problem I was having with my local post office. They're actually really nice in there. It's one of the benefits of living in a small town. Everybody knows you, and that's the case here. So I went in, well, first I went with a whole stack of packages. Everything got scanned in. I printed my own labels at home and got everything scanned in and sent away. This was on August 1st. And all of the packages got delivered except for one. Let's see, how was I making that? Okay, except for one. And I didn't know it until the buyer had contacted me about 8 days after I shipped it, saying, oh, I didn't get my package yet. So I looked everything up, and it was showing that I had not even dropped it off yet. It just said, the shipper has created a label. We'll let you know when they bring it to the post office. Well, I had brought it to the post office. I watched them scan it. So it never did move, and then of course never did arrive. I've since filed a missing package search request. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But this is the second time that's happened with me. I had another, not buyer, but actually a drawing winner. And I think it was back in May, maybe, or in June. And that person never received their prize. And it was the same exact situation, that it just showed that it had never been dropped off when in fact it had. So the lady that runs the post office over there, the manager at that post office, or the supervisor, she's on it. She's reaching out to the contacts that she knows and seeing what can be done to help locate this package for my buyer. Okay, so I don't know, I'll keep everybody updated on that as it goes. So here we go, the lemon charm is done. And how cute. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Let's see, let's lay it out. There it is, with a separate little ring right here that you can hang keys on if you want. From the top of the hook to the bottom of the longest lemon, it is 7 inches. So you would need kind of a taller purse that's at least, 7 inches or more high in order to hang this on that purse and it not, drag around. Or you can use it as a key ring. But that one is sweet, and this one will be $12 for the lemon key ring or a purse charm. And remember, the one that I had showed a while back that didn't sell yet, it was number 1 in that video. It's going to be number 1 in this video. And then number 2 was the little rainbow disco balls. So number 3 is the lemon for $12. I'm really excited about how that one turned out. Especially like that I was able to find these little glass beads to mimic the lemon here, the acrylic lemon. And that acrylic lemon, again, is one that came in that craft lot that Pat Garza sent. You should really go check her channel out. She is a sweetheart. She is one of my friends here on YouTube, and her channel is fun, and you'll really like it. Okay, next This also came in that same lot from Pat. It's a little metal, or is it plastic? No, it's acrylic or plastic, I think, but it's a little globe. Very detailed little globe. And it's an earring, and it was a single earring. So I got a sun. This is a glass bead. These are both glass beads. I got a sun and a moon. And I got the globe, and some of these little crystal bicones are stars. So a sun and moon and stars will be the theme of this purse charm. And let's see, I have some silver tone clips right here. And I'll use some, I'll need to go find some chain. I'll be right back. So I am back, and I have lots of silver tone chain. I have some silver tone eye pins and head pins. And so let me move these things out of the way. And then some various jump rings, because I will be needing those. So let's lay out what I'm going to do. See, the stars are higher than the sun, and the sun is higher than the moon. But then actually you can see stars all around the world. So maybe stars should be at all different heights on this. Maybe the Earth sort of in the middle. Maybe the moon can be shining on Australia, and the sun can be shining on North America. Maybe something like this. I'll give that a try. And the stars are going to hang individually. I'm not going to put one little crystal on each piece of chain. I'm going to hang a few stars on each chain. Oh, I think delivery is here. I'll be right back. That was a false alarm. So I'll go ahead first and take this earring hook off of the earth, but I'm going to leave that ring on there because I think that would be hard to thread a new one in, and why create more work. Okay, I'll go ahead and take that ring out, and while I've got it open, I'm going to go ahead and attach some chain to it, and I can just cut it to length. There we go. So I want to hang it, so I want an overall length around like 5 or so inches. So it looks like that's what we've got. Yeah, I'll do it right there. So we'll need to cut the chain off right about here. And can I open it, or do I need to cut it? This chain appears to be soldered shut on the links, so in order to get that open, I can't just twist it open. I have to actually cut it. There we go. And then take a silver toned jump ring. Let's see, I have some right here. I have a big collection of gold tone jump rings, but I ran out of silver ones, so all I really have left is these. And then the actually, you know what, I have these, and then whatever ones I harvest off of projects, but I haven't pulled any off. But I do have these that I found to maybe add to the strawberry project. But these little red and green things have these sort of pewter toned rings attached to them that I wasn't going to use on this. So I think I'll just do that. I'll use one of these rings, because they're, oops, wrong pliers. There we go. Okay, that was easy enough. Now I need a head pin for the moon. Actually, you know, I think I'll put an eye pin on the moon and the sun so that I can hang a star or two down below the sun and the moon. Remember, that's a head pin right there, or that's a an eye pin. And we'll thread one onto the sun and do the bend, so I can loop that in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and do the moon also while I'm at it. If it's a really tiny one, sometimes it helps to hold the bead. Well, if I can. It's going to be kind of hard to hold this one. I have some pliers with a non-slip grip on them, but I didn't bring them with me, and I'm being lazy right now to go ahead and try to finagle this with my bare hands. There we go. But my bend is not as close down to the top of the bead as I would like, so I think I will have to just go get those other pliers. And there we go. Much better. There we go. Much better bend on that one. So then I snip off the excess. And decide how much chain I want on the moon. I think I'm going to use separate rings for these. And I want the moon to hang up a little. No, I wanted the moon to shine on Australia. That's right. So the moon will be down here. So let me go ahead and get my next little pewter toned ring. And I already know I'll need one for the sun. There we go. And then I'll save this little thing for the strawberry project. And now I make my loop on the top here. Okay, and then make sure that I have them aligned with each other just because I'm particular about that. Okay. Then I put the ring on the moon. Oh, wait a minute, it doesn't go there. The ring is going to go up top. The chain goes on the moon. I forgot to leave it open. So let's get that open now. There we go, and I'll add some chain. And then just like with the globe, I'll lay it down and see how low I want it to go and where I need to trim the chain off. In relation to that ring. There we go, how about right about there. So I'll need to trim the chain here. we go. Then add the ring to the chain, and I'll just put it aside the globe, and then the sun will go right about there. So it won't need much chain at all. I'll go ahead and start the ring, and then before I close it, I'll go ahead and slide the chain on so I don't have to open the ring back up again. The less you have to handle it, the better. There we go. And here's the ring for the sun. And I want the sun to, let's see, shine down on the United States. So right about there is where I need to trim that chain. Well, I said that like it's different chain. It's all the same chain. Okay, there we go. And there's that ring. And yay! So I'm excited about that. Now I'll need to figure out how I'm going to put these little stars. I think I'll do it with head pins. There'll be several of these I'll need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just bend all of these into shape, and then I will be right back when all of these little tiny stars have been threaded and bent over like that. Now I have them threaded. These are extras that I'm going to put aside. So I'm going to have 3 stars on the same chain as the sun. I'll have 3 stars hanging up above the earth, 3 stars hanging from the same chain as the moon, and then I'll have 2 separate chains that have stars that hang down below the earth. So there will be stars all the way around. So that's the basic idea. So now it's time to clip all of these. And here we go again. This is now day 3 of working on these purse charms. I ended last time, yesterday, when I was snipping the pins for these little crystals, and then I had to go do something else. So I didn't film any more that day, so now it is the next day, and I have these all snipped, and I'm going to start assembling this one, and let's see if I can get it all done today. So I'm making the one with the earth and the sun and the moon, and then here's the clip, and here are the little crystals that are going to be the stars. So here we go. I'm going to hang the earth and the sun and the moon from their own little separate chains, and I'll put a star at the bottom of the sun and the moon, and then some more stars along these chains like that. And then I'm going to put, let's see, each one of these will have their own ring, and then I'll put a separate ring in between with some chain that just has stars hanging on it, and some of those stars will hang lower like that, and so that'll kind of be the finished effect. So I will go ahead and start with the sun, and I'll begin by making a loop on the top of one of these stars, but I'm not going to close that loop all the way. It's bent just a little bit, so let me straighten it up. Probably these will work better, the flat-nosed ones. Yeah, see how it's crooked, so I want to straighten that up like that. And now I will hang that on the bottom of the sun and then finish closing it. lot of these projects look a lot faster due to the magic of editing, I guess. They look like they go a lot faster than they do in reality. Not that it takes, you know, a whole day or 3 days to make a purse charm, but it definitely takes more than the couple of minutes or so that passes on a video. So there's the first little star hanging from the chain that the sun is on. And I'll hang, I think, one more up above the sun. Then I'll open up this ring. And I'm going to go ahead and hang this onto the clip, just to avoid having to open it again later. Go ahead and hang that on the clip. And hang the sun on the clip also. There we go. And then close that up. We got a nice complete closure on that. And there's our first little part of it coming together. So I'm back, and remember, this is where we had left off. Well, it's been longer for me. It's just been a few seconds for you. But we have attached the sun and these little stars already to the clip. And so now I have the chains with stars on those, and then the earth and the moon have a couple of stars added to them. So now it's time to hang these onto their rings and hang all of those on to the clip. So here we go. Okay, I've got to watch this for the screen so I can make sure everything is staying in the frame. And I've mentioned before in a previous video, the reason you make this sort of twist instead of, you open it up by twisting instead of pulling it apart, is if you pull it apart, I guess you could get it closed, but it won't close as completely or as tightly. I guess the two ends of the ring won't close as close to each other if you pull it apart and try to close it back up versus twisting it apart and then twisting it back. I don't know if I opened it wide. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, watching it through the screen helps a lot better. Keeping it actually where you can see what I'm doing. Coming right along. Didn't really know what to do with it at first when I realized it didn't have a match. And then I got the idea when I saw the little, when I saw that I had this yellow bead and the bigger, or not bigger, but smaller white one. That's when I got the idea of a purse charm with the earth and sun and moon. And I had gotten a while back that craft a lot from Carol at RV Butterfly. And there were tons and tons of crystals in that lot. And that's where all of these little stars are coming from. Putting on the last little bit of stars. Make it close there. Okay, this one is ready. The sun, the earth, the moon, and all of the little stars. Just hang like that. But there we go. Here is this one, and the length on it overall is about 4 3/4 inches. This one's going to be number 4 for $12. I suppose I will get started on the strawberry next. Okay, now that I have everything laid out, I am going to take away these little green ones on the bottom because that's just, again, starting to look too much like it's a Christmas thing, and I don't want it to look Christmassy. So also, there will be a lot of bulk with these big strawberries to have so many of those. I'm really thinking of just having these 3 things hang down as sort of a fringe out of one strawberry. So there'll be the top of our purse charm. I'll hold all of that nice and tight together. While I bend this over. And I'll snip it and make a loop. And I will go ahead and put, well, actually I'm not going to put a ring on that because I'm going to be attaching this directly to some chain, which I will measure later. So there's our first element, and now I'm going to put together these that will come in 2 parts each. Actually, I think I will loop that and go ahead and attach it to the little teardrops. I'm going to step off camera for just a minute and check those texts and get that loop closed. Okay, got it closed and checked my texts, and nothing urgent, no emergencies. One of them was actually our youngest son, the one who just left off for his sophomore year of college, texting to enlighten me about some slang. Sometimes, just to give my kids a laugh, I will intentionally misuse some slang, and that's always entertaining, at least for me. I don't know if it's so entertaining for them, but so short, long, short is the pattern. And just like that is how that will hang. So that will involve opening this loop. Okay, done. And I've got the ring on the top of it. So it'll be ready to attach to the clip. And just a tiny bit of chain on the bottom. I'm going to open this ring on the bottom of the strawberry and connect it to the chain right there. I'm going back and forth. Okay, got that closed. So that's how that looks. And it's almost finished. All I have to do now is attach it to the clip. Okay. Get an even close on that one. Nice. I really like this look, I think, a lot better, where it has the fringe sort of thing coming down out of the one strawberry instead of all 3 of those strawberries. I think this is a nicer look. It is. It's 7 inches, and I think it's the lemon, actually, what that was, 7 inches. So I'm really pleased with how that turned out. It's number 5 for 12. And that is the strawberry purse charm, or key ring, however you would like to use it. Like the gold chain, or gold tone chain, that I used on the lemon. Right there, that gold tone chain came from this necklace right here. Let's come in a little bit closer. This little gold tone cage with our 2 cages with crystals inside there, and then a gold tone fringe at the bottom. And that's the pendant on this that I guess was a necklace. You know, it didn't have the clasp on each end. It just had these little things, which are going to become something else, as I mentioned yesterday in yesterday's filming session. So this pendant is actually going to be a purse charm too. I'm loving using all these crystals that I got from Carol. Maybe I could hang a little crystal at the bottom of each one of the fringes. Let's see, and some of these are different sizes. Let's see if we can find the same size. There's already a ring attached, so all I have to do is open up that ring and attach it there. And then I'll use head pins on those crystals to attach them to the bottom of the chains. This one should be a pretty quick upcycle, I believe. I'm going to just go ahead and get all of these partially looped. And then that'll make hanging them on and closing the loops will make that part of the process go faster, I think. And I'll start attaching them to the fringes. This one is going really quick. There we go. Perfect. Oops. Okay, oh, there it is. How cute. Let's open that up. Pop this on. There we go. Closed nicely. And done. This one was relatively quick. I like the glammy look of that one. And it's probably going to be about 7 inches also. It is 7 and maybe 1/4. But you have these 2 little gold tone cages with, that's probably not crystal inside there, that's probably glass. And then the fringe coming down with a little crystal at the bottom of each one of the fringes. A separate little ring that you can maybe hang a key on if you want, or you can hang some other little doodad. And there it is. This one, since it was very quick, didn't take much work, very little in the way of additional supplies. Let's see, this one is number 6, and this one's only going to be 10. Number 6 for $10. Then next I'll do the little art glass one. Oops. So the idea I had here is I'm going to take each one of these little teardrop loops apart. I'll take this off. I don't know what I'll do with that little thing, but this loop will have, oh, this larger one. This is a single earring right here. I'm going to take it apart, and this piece of little foil glass will go in the middle. And then same thing right here, and this little piece of glass will go in the middle of that one. And then I had the idea of making some kind of little fringe maybe with these other little glass beads that, you know, are the same colors as these. And then I'll hang these 2 teardrops with the glass beads inside of those, and then have a strand or a couple of strands of these glass beads, and then put that all on a clip. Here's the other piece to this earring, which I'm going to incorporate, I believe, into this whole project. So that's how these are going to go. Okay, there we go. And here we go with this one. As soon as I'm finished right here, I have to call some family members to set up some plans. We have a family birthday coming up next week, and we're going to get together and have a big family gathering in honor of the birthday person on Sunday. So I've got to get those plans made and everybody invited. Of course, by the time you see this, we will have already had that dinner or that gathering. Okay, I have everything bent and snipped on the 2 pieces of the 2 little art glass beads, and then I've got these also already bent and snipped, and that's what these little teardrops will hang from. Little, little, little. I keep saying little. And now I also went ahead and threaded, wired, if you want to call it that, and then bent these. And then I decided this little piece, you know, that had been hanging in the middle of the earring, will just hang at the bottom. And this will just be 3 segments. So there'll be movement in between them. And then this will be hanging at the bottom. And then that will also hang from one of these rings, which will attach to the clip. So those are the elements I'm going to have. Perfect. And there we are with that part. And now attaching these to each other like that, and attach this to the bottom and the ring to the top. Home stretch, here we go. Perfect. This one, by far the most challenging project so far, is done. Let's see, where's my tape measure? This one is not one of those super long ones. This one is 6 inches. Different shades of blue and silver tone. All glass beads. Very pretty, and you've got movement right here, all sorts of movement in this one. You have movement with this one that was such a challenge, and then right here through the larger one, and then this is segmented into 3 segments that all move freely from each other, and then the little fishing lure at the bottom. But perfect. I am very happy with this one. This one's number 7 for $12. There we go. I'm going to take this bead off, move this, sort of a cat's eye looking bead, but I'm going to take this one off, move this to its place, and then hang all of that on a clip. Again, use the twisting motion because it makes it close easier later. Okay, well that was not what I expected, but it worked. I'll use the original ring that originally had it attached to this, whatever you call this little doodad, and I will reattach it to the doodad. That's the official terminology. I don't need these, but I'll reuse this ring to attach it to the clip. Oh, it's moving now. There we go. Perfect. And now this one is done. This one's longer. My guess is maybe about a 7-inch one. Yes, about 7 1/4. Not too much extra work with that one, and not really any extra elements. So we'll do this one for $10. Yeah, $10, and this one will be number 8. Let's see, we're up to what, number 9? This will be number 10. These are some pretty dangly earrings that just lost their hooks, so I'm just going to put new hooks on these. There we go. And then close it up. This is just a repair job right here. These were in that craft lot from Pat. There we go. And then close this one up. And those will be $2. These will be number 10. For $2, the little star earrings. And I thought I might try this repair job there. So that's what I'm going to do to repair this pretty little beaded necklace. So I'm going to link together all of these rings to make an extender. Okay, there is, well, when you hold it up, it looks like there's a gap right here. But then when you lay it down, it's not. So I think that's just, yeah, because it shows when you hang it up this way, which is not how it would be worn. But when it's laid out the way it would be worn, that big gap is not there. So I think that little bit of space is really just to keep the beads from being too tight. So there it is. This sweet little vintage necklace made of all glass beads, black and white, and then the white ones with the black spots. These very light gold tone spacers that are textured, and the little textured bead caps with a swirly design on those. And some little tiny black seed beads near the top. And glass or crystal right here in between. There's a little bit of some iridescence on some of these black beads. It's worn just a little, but not really beyond what you would expect for something that is probably as old as this is. And it doesn't look bad at all. It just, it doesn't really even look like wear. It just, because of the way that stuff is typically put on, it's not put on as a solid coating. It's just kind of put on there in spots. So it doesn't really even look like wear, although that's probably what it is, but it's just consistent with age. This is a short necklace without the extender. It's a about a 7¼ inch drop, and at the end of the little handmade custom extender, it is an almost 8-inch drop, about 7¾ inches. But there that beautiful, beautiful thing is. And we're going to do this one for $5. And it's number 11. These are parts of a stretch bracelet. And I thought they'd be neat earrings, sort of in this sort of layout here. So we'll see how that goes. I will use, here we go, some silver pins, silver tone pins that were cut for something else to make loops in the top of these. See, there's where the holes are on each end, but I'm going to loop them through the top where this little faux stone is to make a loop that then the hook can hang through. So I'll do that first by, let's see, I'll bend this around my needle nose pliers like that and thread it through. And then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to keep this pin in place. I think what I can do is lift these ends up That's exactly what I'm going to try. I'm going to lift these ends up and snip them off and then bend them back underneath. I'll go off camera, figure out a way to do that, and then I'll do the other one on camera. Done. Got it figured out, and it's without using the pins at all. But I took some links out of this silver tone chain that I've been using, 3 to be precise, and I put one link through each one of the holes, and then they're oriented in the wrong direction to hang from the earring hook, so I put a third one right there so it would be oriented in the right direction. Then I put the hook on it, and there's what we have. There is our earring with this sort of rope design on it and the purple faux stone on silver tone. The length on it, I'm really pleased with how that turned out. The length on it is just barely over 2 inches. And this is one of them completely made, and then you can watch the entire process with the second one. So I'm going to take the pin off that I labored to get with the same bend in it that the other one had. I'm going to pull off 3 links from this chain. I do have a couple more earrings to make that I had originally intended to put in this video, but you know, I do have to call the family members and get that that little family gathering arranged, and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to finish these earrings, then wrap up the video. And the other earrings I had planned on making, I'll just do those in another video on another day. So I was debating whether to let this video be part of my things for Monday, but I think this is Friday as I am filming this, so I think I'm going to maybe upload this today or tomorrow, and then just as a craft with me, a bonus video, and then Monday Monday film the things, because those normally go up, as you know, on Tuesday mornings early. So there we go. There are the 2 rings through each one of those holes, and then the third ring to make it oriented in the right direction for the earring hook. Then I close that right up. This one was a little more challenging than it may appear. Actually, I will take a moment to talk about that. If you've ever gone to craft shows or art shows, you know, arts and crafts festivals and all that, and I've heard people get upset about the pricing from the different artists and creators that make stuff at those shows. And something that looks very simple, you know, something that I've heard people say, oh, well, I could make that. Well, I'm not meaning to be sarcastic at all. I mean, you definitely should if you can, because there's a reason behind that pricing. People who sell stuff at arts and crafts fairs, they are not getting rich on that. Usually hours and hours have gone into it, and you have to buy materials, pay for your space at the arts and crafts show. So really, if these people are doing good to break even, or you know, make the amount they make, even if they make a few $100s in a Saturday, very little of that is profit. So just so you know, that's what goes into, and plus all the hours that go into creating the things that they make. If you break all that down to an hourly rate, my daughter knits, and she broke down what it took her to knit something relatively small, and versus what she was going to offer that up for sale for, and it turned out that she would actually be losing money, or be making something, you know, like 75 cents an hour if she broke it down into hours. So just so you know, that's where arts and crafts booths, arts and crafts creators at these festivals, that's what goes into their pricing. So there's that little bit of information for you. So here these are. They are just over 2 inches long. Little dangle earrings with purple faux stones at the top. And I think these are really, really cute. These are number, let me make sure I get that right. Yeah, these would be number 12. And we're going to do those for $4. Comment little in this video, and then I'll upload this probably this evening. This is Friday the 15th. So let's say on next Wednesday I will do the drawing, and then whoever wins the drawing will get a purse charm, a mystery purse charm, and you'll get to tell me what colors and all that you like, and then I'll come up with one and send it to you. Please do remember to check out the other channels I mentioned in this video. Carol at RV Butterfly, who sent me the crystals that you've seen in here, and then Pat from Pat Garza. She sent me most of the elements that I used today. Go check her channel out, and I'll have links to both Carol and Pat in the description of this video, as well as a description of the monthly shipping option if you would like to take advantage of that. But also, I would like to say thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I really, really appreciate the time that you spend watching my videos, and if you enjoyed the content, I ask that you would give me a thumbs up, that you would subscribe if you haven't already, share it with someone that you think might also enjoy it, and leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!